Hello, hello, hello.
Good
Hello.
afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, my sister.
Oh, what a beautiful day it is. I don't know. What's all that?
Yeah.
Oh, what a beautiful day it is.
Absolutely. Hello, family.
Oh, hello, sisters. Yeah, it's awesome day, a wonderful day, a great God day. I'm Wyoming.
I'm Peg.
I'm Linda.
And I'm Charlene.
And we are
Four
Sisters
Sisters Live.
Yes,
Peggy. It's
Peggy.
our motto way.
Yes.
Okay, I am going to run for something, miss something, because Peggy that's what we do, right?
That's the
Yeah.
four.
That is. That's
High
the
five.
I love
Four.
it. I love that's
With
right.
that
That's
tongue
right.
behind the teeth and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. We know how to do it. You know how we do it. It
Mhm.
just stands for four unified sisters who are together doing what we need to do to impact the world.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Every day.
Our people. Yes, it is.
Every
It's
day.
about time. Every day. We are some busy ladies, but we're about the business at hand and the things we're doing. It's just about impacting the community and bringing the change in lives as well. So yeah, I'm excited. I mean, it's what fall now, and so we're moving into the season. Can y'all believe it? We got one more month left for the end of this year. Oh my God!
Say it ain't so.
Say it ain't so.
Say it ain't so. And I'm not
So.
I am so for Christmas and putting Christmas up and having Christmas all the way through March. But like right now, because of COVID, I'm like, I don't want to see a Christmas thing. I want to celebrate every month. If there's Halloween, I want to celebrate that. If it's Thanksgiving, I want to celebrate that. I just want to keep everything, like,
Yeah.
and I've never been that way, but I think
when you like Linda and I, we understand we celebrate every second, every moment.
oh yes.
Honestly,
Yes.
right, Linda?
That's all we got.
That's all we got. Oh, wait a minute, Peggy. Wait a minute. You said the big 7-0 is coming up for you?
It's
Hey,
coming.
look, I've been practicing saying 70 for the all year long.
So now you don't even feel the pain
I
now.
don't even feel like it.
Peggy, I think it's an honor to just be 70. Like that is 7 decades. Like
Oh my God.
who can
Yeah.
say that?
Wow.
And you look so beautiful. You and Linda, like
Oh,
Thank
you see
you.
what I'm saying? Like y'all can, I mean, like I'm still young, but I ain't that young. But you know what I'm saying? Like I inspire to be. Like that is huge.
It's awesome.
Like,
well,
That's
you know
awesome.
what people say to me, what do you do to stay young? I say, I sit around wisdom. I soak that in. And then I
Constantly
hang
learning.
around with the millenniums because they
Millennium.
got it going on.
She
They
said
keep
the
me
millennium.
alive. Okay.
Yes.
that's a secret, Peggy. I used to be an esthetician, and when I was in college, a lady came. She was an older Black lady, and she was in her 70s. And she said, "Hey, sister," she said, "one thing you need to know." She said, the reason I look like is number one, I do facials, and number two, I hang around young people, and I don't forget that just because I'm older and wiser doesn't mean that they cannot impart the wisdom of their day. She says, so always keep a young person around you. So you just said something to confirm. Yes, I'm keeping me.
And the other thing is to continue to learn. Keep your mind open to learn new things.
Yes.
Because it keeps your mind and your body and your spirit really alive, because you're constantly feeding it good information.
Yes, Linda.
So we're on top of it all most of the time because we all share everything that we know, and our whole circle of friends, they're just like us. And so you do have to hang around folks that are like you. You got to clone yourself.
Yeah.
And it helps. So, we all
be around people that you love. That's the key.
Yeah,
I say people that you love and that you like being around, because if I don't like being around you, it's a drain on me. Okay. But when I like walking into a building and we celebrating each other, girl, and you can't stop taking those selfies, I like being around y'all. Okay. So if I didn't, I'll be out in 5 minutes and do my way.
Yeah, I saw that selfie of you on the beach. Now, where exactly were you on that swing? I mean, I said, look at her.
Beautiful.
Where were you?
I am so glad you asked that, because that is what has shifted my life for the next decade. I
Uh-oh.
actually was on one of the oldest Black beaches there was. It is called Highland Beach. Can you see that?
Oh, yeah.
This is down in Talbot County, or Anne Arundel, but we call it, you also notice Talbot. It is
Yes,
where
Frederick
Frederick
Douglass
Douglass.
is your town. Yeah,
Exactly. And if
Frederick
those of
Douglass.
you who know the history of Frederick
Yeah,
Douglass, that is where one of his worst slave masters beat him, at the age of
yes.
7 and 15, and relentlessly beat him. That is also when Baltimore is where he learned to read by one of the slave masters, and continue that on. But I was there, honey, to take in that sand and understand that lynching, besides lynching, them beating my ancestors was real. And I used to try to put that out of my mind and say that couldn't have happened. But Frederick Douglass was the first one to write a narrative, until we started getting our other bougie Black people saying, no, it didn't happen. No, it happened to your
It
ancestors.
did.
When Frederick came along, just because he didn't have the education you had, you didn't want him to talk about it. You're like, oh, just push that aside. Yeah, you got whooped. No, this kid got whooped when he was 7. Okay, deep wounds. They will beat them for looking at them. They will beat them for looking like they were making a move to pick the cotton wrong, or whatever the product or the agriculture was at that time. And so I had to relearn this in my late 40s, and I'm like, what in the world? And really get a glimpse of it, and to know right there and right then that right there on that land is where his children's children bought that house for him, so that he could look over where these slave masters had beat him, and be able to own this beach.
Oh,
My,
wow. Okay.
he owned the beach. Our people own that beach. Do y'all hear me?
That's
I
awesome.
hear, I hear you.
Like we know we're doing good in the Prince George's County behind those gated gates. We own that beach, baby.
Sounds like a road trip, y'all.
It
Yes.
is.
Yes.
It is private property. I mean, it's
We
not,
have to
you
go.
can't just get in, but we got it. Okay, so
I
we
mean,
got
can you go for a tour? Is that type of thing?
we can, and we're going to
Yeah,
set that
that's
up.
what I mean. Yeah, we could go on a tour. I'd love to
I
go.
would
'Cause
love
I've been
to.
to his house and I love it. When I used to live in Southeast, I was walking distance from his house, and I
That's
did go
one
there.
of his houses. Remember, that's one of his houses.
Yeah, the one,
But
right.
this house is on the beach where his son. This is what I'm
That's
telling you. We got to get our children to think about legacy, guys.
yeah.
Because when his son Charles bought that house for him, he tried to keep it up. And of course, you always got one or two of the grandchildren and got their right sense and want to sell things. But thank God that that's what Peggy. Going back to your point. That's why we need other millennials around us that love us, that say, when our children ain't acting right, they say, you ain't gonna do that to Miss Peggy. She worked hard for that. And they're gonna say, I got you. I'm building the beach house for Miss Peggy and Miss Linda, Miss Wyoming, and I'm gonna keep this up in remembrance of them. That's legacy. It ain't just about your children. It's about children of others, and others that understand what your mission is. But I could go on and on. But guys, check it out. I actually have the 25th edition of this that they gave me, and I purchased. I'm sorry, but yes, you got. Oh my God, the history is here. It's so beautiful. We
That's
are
awesome.
powerful beyond measure. I could do a whole show on this, but we are powerful beyond measure. Let's make our money, guys, pull it together and know that we own, and we can't let them take it away, and we can't let them wash it away, and we can't let them say, no, this is our land. We coming because we want the beachfront. These Black people are still here, hundreds of years later.
Yes.
These children are sitting there, beautiful homes. So anyway,
I can't wait.
Those are my bucket list.
Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you, Charlene.
It's great, Charlene. She's out there. Y'all know she's in the community all the time.
Yes.
And she is doing her thing. She needs to run for some kind of political office. I don't know which one God has led.
No, don't do it.
Well, she may start something independently,
Well,
she
let's do it.
Something
Let's
doesn't
do
have to be
it
under the
with
umbrella of everything else.
with no strings. We're gonna march with you. We're gonna.
Yeah, there you go.
Start something.
We're taking back our Black land. How about that? And we're going to support our Black land owner.
Yeah, we're gonna be under the radar, taking it all.
It's
There you go.
unstoppable. and
We
speaking of
got you,
unstoppable,
Charlene.
right?
Unstoppable.
Yeah, I'm putting it out there for you, girl. I'm putting it out there in the
Yes,
atmosphere for you, right?
that's
Receive
right.
it, receive it,
So
receive it.
yeah, today is a great day. We have a great guest and talking about unstoppable. This guest we have on today has been unstoppable in
Mm,
everything in every area of her life that she has been doing and have asked God to do, and He has blessed her immensely with just such favor
yes,
and has given her what she needs to continue to tell her story.
yes,
So we are excited to have her today, and that's none other than Dr. Eunice L. Pettis. We're
Yeah.
going to have her come on at some point shortly, but
yes,
no, this is our domestic violence for segment for the first Saturday of every month. This is amid the October Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and all month long, I want to applaud all of us, you, Peggy, Linda, Charlene, for what we did last month to bring
Oh,
such awesome guests to just
awesome.
talk
it's
about this
awesome.
because it was really a wonderful thing to enlighten and engage and empower the people relative to this because domestic violence is real. It is real. It is what's happening, it's going on in
Mhm.
every situation that you could even imagine. It is still happening on many, many levels. And it doesn't
Yes,
discriminate. We know that when we found out how it works, and we did even dug in a little deeper into the mind with Dr. Buckingham, how this thing really is.
Yes.
And
yeah.
and we give kudos to Dr. Marty
Marty,
Casey, who
Yes.
came and just poured her power out to us in that respect of our Power 10. Sure enough, we don't want to miss Dr. Gina Bell, how she
oh
just
Yes.
yes,
really came and she helped us to put this together. And all of our guests, that I would like to just say thank you. We like to say thank you, because we're going to do it again. I think
and our
it's
Yeah.
young
something we
people as
started. Our
well.
young people, our youth, yes,
Oh
Linda,
yes, our
thank
youth,
you, y'all youth. We're going to keep this going.
Dante and
Dante, yes.
Dante, you carried it on. You were
Oh,
great.
youth live,
Yes. Yes.
24
Live.
7, much love.
Yes,
Yes. So
every
we
fifth
we are just
Saturday.
yeah, every fifth Saturday. And so we're just doing it. And I'm proud of our youth, what they're doing, what they're standing for, those
Yeah.
who are just trying to definitely make it a difference. All of them are not out doing things that are wrong, but we find out there's a reason why. There's a reason why. So we just got to still embrace them and let them know we do love them. And we're
Hmm.
with them and we're here to help them and do things that's going to help their lives because they're our future, next generation.
That's it.
So we want to
Yeah.
leave it in good hands. Yeah, Peg.
Yeah. And why, what the beautiful thing about it is, we see domestic violence and you always think about what happens behind closed doors,
Mm-hmm.
okay, in the home.
Mm-hmm.
But it has now spilled out into the workplace. It is
Mm-hmm.
spilled out into your business.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So, and
Oh
we had
yeah.
the opportunity to talk about that last month, and I applaud all of us. We did it. We did it.
But
Hmm.
there's more to come, Peg. We're just gonna let it out, as time permits.
Yeah.
But there's so many other things that we're going to be doing relative to this area and other areas that we have health and wellness. Of course, on second Saturday of the month, we're going to have Dr. Lane rolling. We got to
Woohoo!
keep this COVID. Please, people,
Yeah.
Keep
understand it is still
informed. Be
out there. Be
informed.
informed that to wear your
Yes.
mask, wash your hands. It hasn't gone anywhere. In fact, there's more variants out there. So we're going to learn a lot about that. Yes, Dr.
Yes.
Lane Rolling will be here next week, guys. We have to stay educated and
Yeah.
Yes.
informed about what's going on in our Black community. We're not saying you have to endorse him or you have to take every word. It's on you. We are not saying that here. We just want to give you information.
Add to your book.
Add to your book, absolutely. And then we have our education and mentoring on third Saturday that's headed by Charlene. She's full of a lot of things. She's going to have some wonderful person. I know she's going to have someone to introduce to us next week
Yeah.
who's going to be our guest for that segment. And of course,
Yeah.
fourth Saturday is is our
Entrepreneur.
entrepreneurship, and that's headed by Peggy. And so we have a lot here. We have a lot here. So we ask that you all continue to join us. Thank you for the support, but we are excited about 2022. I am. I have been just in preparation,
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
in preparation. And he said he prepares us. He also prepares a table for us.
Hmm.
And
Yes.
I'm ready to eat off of it.
All right, at the table.
I'm spread the table. I see Doctor say, "Come on in where the
Come
table
on in.
is."
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you said preparation, Wyoming, because in preparation, I think 2020 has high Florence Duchess champagne. In preparation, I definitely, because we are a sister team that always are keeping people informed. And just in case you don't know, guys, just in case you don't know, preparation was throughout 2020, 2019, we found out about COVID. But just in case, breaking news, I got to say this because it's important on this platform. You need to know that Biden, he did overhaul or this infrastructure, and he won this monumental, bill, and this just happened. It just happened this Saturday, where the passage of a $1 trillion infrastructure package, as of right now today, the fellow Democrats resolved a months-long standoff in their ranks to seal the deal. And they said, and check this out, the House passed a measure 228 to 206 Friday, prompting prolonged cheers from the lead Democratic side of the chamber. 13 Republicans, that was good, mostly moderate, supported the legislation, while 6 of the Democrats, farthest left, members opposed it. So approval of this bill looks like this. It's going to improve broadband, to create more jobs, water supplies, and other public works. And they're sending that right now for further, approval to the president's desk. So I think you need to be aware of that $1 trillion infrastructure is a serious thing. Dig into it more. I don't have no more words to say, but I do want you, as our informed audience, to dig into it, and we'll be talking about that throughout, this month.
That's good to know and be informed. We got to stay informed enough because everybody's not listening to the news in that respect.
That's true.
Some people got their head buried under the sand and they're not trying to hear it, but we got to know what's going on because it impacts all of us.
It does.
It impacts all of us. So yeah, we got to continue to keep that. That's a good thing, Charlene, to keep us informed, so that those who are not aware of what's happening, if they don't hear it, they'll hear from us on this platform, so that we can prepare ourselves. The word for the day is #prepare. Ourselves for what's to come, 2022, and things are not stopping, baby. It's not stopping. It's moving fast, and we must be a part of what this is about in the movement, and we're about the movement as well. So yeah, but we're going to switch gears here, and we say hello to Dr. Marty. I think she chimed in and said hello
Yes, she
to us.
did.
So
She
hello
did.
to you, Dr.
Yeah.
Marty.
Say, Dr. Marty.
Thank you.
There
Appreciate
she
it.
is. Look at her.
Howdy doody. So yeah, we'll switch gears. So it's some birthdays in the house. Who's celebrating a birthday? This is it. This is it. This is it.
Wait a minute. I don't think we should let the birthday person do it without telling, but we say happy birthday to our founder, our queen, our fearless leader,
Come on.
Peggy Morris.
Honey, I am so blessed. Trust me. Blessed, and more blessed.
Gotta do my two. Get your two.
Oh, I know we're gonna party like rock stars for Peggy. Come on, somebody. I'm gonna be at that birthday party. We don't need a masquerade ball for this. We just need to go out and dance, honey.
Oh my God. But you know what? Let me share this. There's a couple other sisters in the organization who's celebrating. And see, the way we do it, we celebrate the whole month of November. All right. And then after that, it's every second of the hour.
That's you.
Every time you
Dr. Eugenia Bradley is celebrating a birthday. Lois Bernard is celebrating this month. Dr. Casey Lewis is celebrating. And also Patricia Morris. So I just wanted to shout out those sisters. And let me share this as well. Sharon Bullock, who is the vice president's dad, just celebrated his 92nd birthday. So we want to definitely give him a shout out.
Yes.
Oh, look at that. Thank you, Dr.
Nice. We're gonna love up on
Marty.
you, girl. We're gonna love up on you as usual, but this is special time for you. Ladies and gentlemen, 70 is not nothing to sneeze at. Linda is beautiful. She is 70.
I know.
I mean, this is awesome.
I don't believe him. I don't believe him. They don't even have wrinkles. 70. You're like, where are the wrinkles? Where are the bags? Where?
None.
You know what? It's because we're special and people, we love people. Okay,
and we
know how to love upon them, and they do in return. So that keeps us wealthy and healthy.
And we always laugh a lot. You got to
keep us. Got to smile, honey. Got to smile.
Yes.
We don't feel that much. We laugh a lot.
Yes,
that's what you got to do.
I tell you, that's a good point. Good point.
She said black don't crack. Go ahead, Florence. No, it just gets tighter. Look at Linda. Pay for your face. People, they pay for your face.
Hey, Sora.
Yes, we're doing good. We cannot complain no matter what's going on around us. We cannot be moved by the world. We can't be moved about what's going on around, what's happening, politically or otherwise. We're in this world, but they say are not of this world. So we gotta be, ready to take on and fight. And do what we got to do to stay in it, man, and keep it moving. I'm ready for it. Yes. But no, happy birthday to all of you all celebrate. Anybody you all know celebrating, let us know. Put it in the chat and let us know who they are.
Lewis Wallace's birthday is right after Peggy's.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And my daughter Erica's birthday is in November.
That's right.
Erica.
Her fiance Norma's birthday is in November.
Her fiance. Whoa.
Oh, Lord, that's a big thing.
4 seasons.
Yeah. My sister in Detroit, she's having a birthday coming up next week. So happy birthday, sis.
Happy birthday.
My best friend's birthday is in November. She would hate that. And she was born on a turkey day. So happy birthday, Annette.
Oh,
happy birthday.
Yeah. So what's happening in our community, Peg? I know we have some hot picks. We got things happening and going on.
Yeah, you know what? We have a special guest.
Waiting to come in. Guest?
Yes.
What
happened? Let me bring him in and let him share what's going on. There he is. Hey, delegate.
Hey. Wow, how's everybody?
Hi, Gerald.
Man, I just love being with 4Sisters Live.
We just love you.
We love you.
This is a surprise. I mean, you come on here. If you're on here and we are surprised, you must have something for us because you just have to pop in without letting us know what's really going on.
Hey, listen, anytime it's Peggy's birthday, I'm coming to the party. This is why I'm here today. I think Charlene said it best. You have lived 7 decades, and that is to be celebrated and not taken for granted. Listen, there are so many people that have died at a young age.
Yes.
For us to be able to live to see 70 years of age and older, I think we must celebrate that. I think you all said it best, that we must continue to laugh a lot. Continue to have those young people around us that's going, keep us young and keep us young. Good. Absolutely. And Peggy, you're doing a damn good job of it.
Hey, look, you're a good example of the people that I love being around that keeps me young and keep me smiling. It's the energy from you, Gerald, because you support what I do. I support what you do. Yes. We give it back out to the community.
Listen, I think at the end of the day, I think you all said it, is that, we must continue to work collaboratively together in order to really make a difference and an impact.
Yeah.
I love the fact that Charlene came on and was talking about, Black land and how Black folks need to start looking and understanding, the property and our history and what we're doing. Right. I love the fact that you all said, well, shit, Charlene, you already in the community. You need to run for office. If you don't run for my seat, I'm supporting you all day long.
I got you. I'll back you up behind the scenes. You know how to do it behind the scenes.
And listen, because at the end of the day, we need good people in office. We need good people that are advocating for Black folks. We need good people that are willing to stand up and speak out about some of the injustices and things that are going on. Listen, we're still fighting for reparations. We're still fighting for things that were taken from us. We were enslaved. We weren't slaves. We were enslaved. So
Yes.
I think, now's an opportunity, looking at the civil unrest over the last 18 months that have been going on, for us to really stand up and be bold and courageous about what we're doing. And part of the reason why I'm here is because this is the 50th anniversary of the Legislative Black Caucus of Maryland.
Oh,
50
yes,
years.
yes.
Right? So, if you look at history has a way of repeating itself. And we're still fighting for some of the same things we were fighting for 50 years ago. We're fighting for criminal justice reform and education and transportation and all of these things because we're making some progress, absolutely. But I do believe that there needs to be more progress, and we need elected officials that are bold and courageous in what they're saying and how they're saying it, in order to garner the attention that say that we would no longer continue to do things like we used to do.
We're tired. But Delegate Barnes, I think the word is we're sick and tired. We should get to that point that we're tired of the way it's been going. And the only way we're going to see a change is we're going to have to be the change makers.
That's right.
Exactly.
And I believe you ladies can be that change maker by continuously elevating your voice and your platform to educate people. I think Charlene was talking about it earlier about the $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill. I mean, those have some direct impacts to what we're doing right here in Maryland. So I think people need to understand the significance of that bill and why we were fighting for that bill. And even though it was 1.2 trillion, it was supposed to have been a lot more than that.
A lot more.
Yes, exactly.
So I mean, we're doing ourselves a disservice by cutting the bill and saying, well, we only want some parts to go through. But I think when you start talking about 351 billion of that is going for highways and bridges, how does that impact the African American community? 107 billion is going for our transit system. So you look at our railways and all of that. That's where that's going. New technology. 73 billion is going for electronic grid infrastructure. Then you got 55 billion is going for drinking water infrastructure, and 42 billion for broadband, and 25 billion for airports. I mean, it's a lot of money that impacts our community. So now folks like me at the state level, when that money comes, we got to make sure that it's being impactful.
Yes,
exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Well, Delegate Barnes, we know that you have so much to share with us. Can we have him on?
Yeah.
Yes. We're on the educational segment so we can finish talking about things like that and why infrastructure, just like here in Highland Beach and other things that Biden is doing. We need to understand, and he is the perfect candidate to educate our community about it. I really appreciate it.
Delegate Barnes, look at your schedule for the third Saturday of this month, and we want you to come because we got to talk about what's happening, and you will help us to shed that light. And we would love to have you on here on the third Saturday. If you clear your schedule, let Charlene know. Charlene contact you. We will have you on definitely because we got to continue this conversation.
Listen, I am here whenever you all need me, and whenever Peggy says jump, I just ask how high.
Okay, so you're on. So you're on. That means you're on. We got you, ladies and gentlemen. You hear him. He'll be here on the third Saturday of this month. So we're going to talk politics and more. We're going to share more about what he's going to tell us is happening in his community, in our community, and what's happening politically all over. What does it mean to be a part of where we are going in 2022, which will be here quicker than we can blink our eye. And so we got to prepare ourselves and know what's happening. So Delegate.
Let me touch on two quick things before my time is up. Before Peggy puts up the cue card like that.
No, good.
Peggy knows how to do this real good.
I know that's right. What you got?
So there's two quick things I want to talk about. One is from the political standpoint. The state of Maryland is changing ever so fastly. Where we're going to have in 2022 a new governor, a new lieutenant governor, a new comptroller, a new treasurer, a new state's attorney, and new department heads as far as new secretaries of departments, agencies. So the way that we do business here in the state of Maryland is going to change just like that. So the methodology and the ideology of who's coming into office is critically important. That's why it's so important that we all pay attention to this upcoming election in 2022.
Absolutely.
And I would love to be able to talk about that on the third
Saturday.
Saturday.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So what
That's
else do you
one.
have for us?
And number two is the upcoming Black Caucus event. Listen, if you all are not in the room, then you're missing out. I mean, we have a phenomenal weekend planned on Saturday, November the 13th, with our Business Over Breakfast. We have Kwasi and Fume as our keynote speaker. And if you all have not ever heard him speak, I mean, this brother is going to deliver a punch and really give you those goosebumps that you feel like when you're in church sometime and the pastor hits something and you be like, he's talking to me. And I believe that Kwasi is going to deliver that message that's going to resonate with our Black community, that's going to give us the charge to say we must get out there and do our part. And then later on that evening, hey, it's showtime. We got the award-winning, Grammy Award-winning Regina Bell coming to perform live in Maryland Live Hotel and Casino. This is going to be a phenomenal event. When I say phenomenal event. And just because Peggy allowed me to be on her show today, I'm going to give 2 free tickets to whoever Peggy says give them to that can partake in the show on Saturday with Regina Bell.
Look, this is what we're going to do. We're going to split those tickets and all 4 of us together.
I know that's right. If I could give more, I would, but I got 2 free tickets that I could give for anybody that wants to come out and see Regina Bell. I think that's going to be a phenomenal show, and folks are going to have a really good time. Yeah. And I appreciate you all so much for allowing me to be on your show. I appreciate you all supporting Delegate Barnes. I appreciate you supporting the Legislative Black Caucus of Maryland. But I do say that we have a lot more work to do.
Yes.
Charlene, get your campaign gear together because I'm right behind you 2,000%. So let's get out here.
We've started something. The conversation continues on the 3rd Saturday of November. We'll see you here. Thank you so much, Delegate.
Thanks, John. Thank
you. You have a great, blessed day.
All right. Thanks so much.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Yeah, bye-bye. Great. Good stuff. Good stuff. He's all in favor. Everyone said aye for Charlene. Aye.
Hey, we'll work it out. I give me half of the ticket, wine, and Charlene, y'all guys take the other 2. We'll be going.
We're gonna work it out. I know we're
gonna be there. The Black Caucus is important to me. Either way, I'm going to be there, but we're going to be there together at the same table.
Right.
I truly believe in what they're doing. I truly believe.
Yes, it's important that we be there to be amongst our people to learn more. The more we network, this is what it's about. Networking.
And let me show you how small the world is. Congressman Kwasi Mfume, believe it or not, is how I met my husband Bill.
Ooh, that's a conversation.
All of us worked at Morgan State University when they built the first radio station back in 1977. And Kwasi was the program manager of the station.
Okay.
See, so my point here is be careful how you treat people, how you talk to them, because I'm going to tell you, it comes back full circle.
Yes, ma'am.
It comes back.
No, it does. It really does, Peggy.
Yes.
Treat people right, because you may never know that bridge you're going to cross.
You don't know who's going to show up in that room.
Yeah.
Okay?
Isn't that awesome?
That's awesome.
That's a word right there, girl.
So you treated him real good. You all best of friends.
Yes.
Yeah, with good people. And now to see him come around like that is
it's good.
40 years later.
40 years, you never know who you're going to meet. Never know. Wow.
That's awesome. So in the meantime, speaking of who you know, who you meet, how you network, this sister that's going to come now, I met her at a conference that we know our lovely sister Jennifer Foxworthy had a conference about, I want to say, good 4 years plus ago. This sister, I met her, just hearing her story moved me to tears at the conference. And the way that Jennifer had it set up, she had different speakers to come up and speak on different topics. And her topic was definitely about domestic violence and how her story impacted her and what happened. But I was there for a reason and didn't know it. God put me in a position to be there to hear this lady's story, because you all know, and many of you know, I have a production, a stage play called Then Sings My Soul. And Peggy, Linda, Charlene, you all remember a segment, a piece in my play about the church? the
Mm-hmm.
church
Yeah.
woman, and how she was hurt by her husband and beat and blah
Yes.
blah blah blah. When I heard this lady's story, I almost cried. Say, God, you play too much because you know I put that into play,
You
not
did.
knowing,
You
Mm-hmm.
did.
not I did, not knowing that I would hear this for real, for real. Because you
Mm-hmm.
put things together, you just know, and if God leads it, He's going to bring it to light. But I didn't know this, and I'm in tears while this lady, Dr. Unia, is telling her story. I said, if that's not my play, I don't know what is. I went to her. I got up when she was finished. She went to the bathroom. I got up and went, followed her to the bathroom, and I said, you know, I introduced myself. I said, you don't know how much you just impacted my life, and I told her about the play, and you said everything that's going on in my production.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. So I want to bring to you all right now Dr. Junia Perez. Dr. Perez, please come on in the room. You are
Yes.
such an awesome sister. We love
Yes.
you.
I love you
But
more.
yes,
Yes.
but
Love you.
before we get started, we have a message from someone that we want you to hear.
Okay.
Hold on.
Sisters Live. Thank you so much, Peggy, Wyoming, Linda, and Charlene, for giving me this opportunity to give a message to my big sis, my shero, Reverend Dr. Unia L. Pettis. Unia, you are simply amazing. You're beautiful inside and out, and I mean every word. You inspire me to keep pushing, to have faith, to believe in God, and I am that much better because of you, knowing you, and we are divinely connected. And I just love and adore you. And I just want to thank you so much for being such a pillar in the community, for being such a wonderful blessing in my life. And just want to encourage you to know that I am standing in the gap. I am praying for you, cheering you on, and I'm here for you. I love you. I love you all. This is Jennifer Foxworthy, and thank you again for this blessed opportunity to encourage my sister Unia. Take care.
Yes,
You
that
Yes.
guys
sister.
got me. Oh my goodness.
Dr. Unia, you have been such an awesome woman. More than you know how much you've encouraged a lot of us.
Yes.
Your strength has just said, it's
Whew.
compared to none.
No.
And today's segment is about domestic violence. However, it's this title which you sent. It said, "I survived the battered preacher's wife." I survived the battered preacher's wife.
Yeah.
Can you please take a moment and give your story, because I was moved, and I'm sure others will if they don't know about your story. Can you just share with us about that?
Yes, I just want to first give honor to God, and I want to thank you, Wyoming. I want to thank you, Linda, Peggy, the founder, and Charlene. Happy birthday, Sister Peggy. You look amazing, and thank you for this opportunity. My name is Reverend Dr. Junia Perez. I'm the founder of Nobody But God Ministries, and you're looking at a serial survivor.
Mm-hmm.
I have overcome domestic violence, a stroke with paralysis, and 4 cancers. Um, Most people haven't overcome even one. I've had 4, 3 in the last 3 years. So God has truly been faithful to me. And I want you to hear this story, and I want it to pierce and resonate your heart, because I'm here to help save a life and to bring awareness. We thank God for October. It's Domestic Violence Awareness Month and Breast Cancer Awareness Month. But the reality is, and the statistics tell us, with the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence, that every 20 minutes, someone is physically hurt by their intimate partner. And we're now in November. That equates to more than 10 million men or women a year. So just in 2021, 10 million men or women will be impacted by an intimate partner in some form of domestic violence. 1 in 4 women, 1 in 7 men will be impacted in their lifetime. So we must know the facts. When I say you're looking at a survivor, I wrote an article. I was asked to by the Washington Afro to share my story, and I called it "I Survived the Battered Preacher's Wife." The title should tell you everything, but I want to give you a little bit more information. I was engaged and got married around 27. I was engaged and married to a young man who was formerly a co-worker with myself. He was a minister. He had a kidney issue that developed around like the second day. He needed a kidney transplant, so he was on dialysis. And my friends and family, they were really concerned, like, don't marry anybody who has a kidney concern. Wait till he gets his transplant. But I was in love, and I'd heard from God. So we got married 2 years later. And on the night of our wedding, and the wedding was really, really big. It was a party of 48 total. I had 16 women. He had 16 men. We had 3 officiants. We had police, limousine drivers. It was crazy. It was one of the biggest weddings that you could have, but I believe if you're going to do it once, do it well. The night when we were coming back into the hotel suite, he locked me out and cursed at me because he said that my dress was too sexy. He asked, was I wearing it for him or for the other people? Now, you should know I'm marrying a minister who's acting as a pastor, so it was very conservative. It only showed this part to this part of my arm. I had gloves on and a full dress, and I'm a woman of God filled with his spirit, so I really didn't understand. He locked me out. I had to go down to the receptionist desk. I had to get another key to another room. And the next morning, when I was able to finally reach him on the phone, because I called him all through the night begging and saying, baby, what did I do wrong? I don't understand. And he said, be in the room by 5. We're going to church at 7. And so I did that. So that was the first big, huge warning sign. I should have, when he shut that door, had the strength and the ability to go to my mother's room or go to another relative's room in the hotel and say, Unia, I don't care how big the wedding was, you deserve better. He had never spoken out negatively to me. He never cursed at me. He never even raised his voice. My mother always said, when looking for a mate, look at how he treats his mother, because if he treats his mother well, he'll treat you well. Also, look if he has a sibling sister, how he treats his sister. He loved his mother. He was a mother's boy, and he had great reputation at work, and he loved his sister. So I did the criteria that my mother said check. And again, he never showed any type of emotional, verbal, or physical abuse. So the first 2 years of marriage, he cursed me out all the time. He was emotionally, verbally abusive. He played a lot of mind games. He told me that he wanted me to drop out of my PhD program because a Black woman shouldn't have a degree higher than her husband. When I was on my way, I became licensed to be a minister in my second year of marriage. He would beat me the night before I had to preach. He would curse me out the night I had to preach. He would taunt me all the way there just to get in my mind so that the Lord wouldn't be able to use me, but God still prevailed. I would sit in the pulpit next to him, afraid of him, because he was a monster to me, but to the masses of the people, he was their honored and beloved acting pastor. And they just loved him. They said that he's young, he's dealing with this health ailment, and they loved us as a couple. They had no idea of what was going on. So when he got his kidney in the 3rd year, that's when the physical abuse started. He first started slapping me, and then he started kicking me with steel-toed Timberland boots down the stairs. He cracked my ribs so many times that I can't even tell you. He would sexually hurt me. I had to have 2 surgeries. He would do whatever he had to do to make sure my life was a living hell. And I didn't tell anyone. And I want people to know that who are saying, well, you're stupid. Why did you stay? People stay for many, many reasons. I'll tell you, I stayed because of pride. I didn't want anybody to know my marriage was really a sham and that I was married to a monster. And I didn't believe in divorce. I didn't want to be a failure. I'd always achieved what I wanted to accomplish. I graduated summa cum laude from Howard undergrad. I graduated straight A's from American University. And I was on a scholarship for my PhD at Maryland. I'd always done what my mom wanted me to do. When we got married, we had not been intimate. We did it God's way. And so I'm like, Lord, I did it your way. And I married someone who's sick. Lord, just please touch my husband. And I want you to realize you can't pray abuse away. I thought I could pray it away. I kept praying over his shoes. I anointed him. And I kept saying, baby, what can I do better? He would tell me I'm fat and I was a size 4. He would tell me how ugly I am, how I disgusted him, how he hated my mother. And if my mother died, then he'd know I really loved him because I'm an only child and I loved my mother. And he said, I just want her to die. He would just pray that out loud. And I kept saying, God is going to do something to him because he's preaching this gospel every Sunday and he's doing this behind closed doors. But God was not responsible for doing anything to him. God had given me the common sense and the ability to walk away. And I was afraid. I was afraid of what people would think. And I was afraid of what would happen to me in my life. Instead of leaving, he had 3 affairs. On this particular morning, one of the persons, the third affair, called me and said, what do we have to do to make you leave? And they said, he said, we sit back and laugh. After we make love, we sit back and laugh about you. And I called him on his job, and I'd never done that before. You don't call him at church. And I said, I'm leaving you. I can't take it anymore. I'm leaving. And he said, when I get home, you're going to get it. He had never said that to me like that before. I knew he was coming home, Sister Peggy, to kill me. And I was just determined I wasn't going to get beat to death. So I went to, back then it was called People's Drugs, and I'm forwarding the story as quick as I can. I got 3 boxes of sleeping pills, and he had recently had surgery. So I got Percocet, and I crushed it up with applesauce, and I took the concoction. I attempted suicide. And I was out for about 4 hours, the doctors say. I was very much almost successful. He came, got me, rushed me to the ER. They pumped my stomach. They did the charcoal. They were asking me my name. I couldn't remember. They asked me who the president was. It was Bill Clinton. I couldn't remember that. They said, you're a minister. You're in the doctoral program, your husband said. And I couldn't remember anything. But God was faithful that it was a nurse who was in the room. And she said that every time my husband would come in to kind of check on me, like, I don't know why she tried to kill herself and this, and this, my vital signs would go up. And so she asked him, sir, can you go to the waiting room? And she bent down to my ear. And I wish I could remember this lady's name or anything. I just know she was a true angel. She said, what is going on with you? And I said, ma'am, he's been beating me. And the only thing that I could remember was my mother's number. So I remembered my mother's number, and I called my mother, and I told her, Mom, in the hospital, in the ER. She thought it was for him because, he was the one that had the health issue. And I said, you need to come. Didn't tell her what for. When she got there, they'd already had me in the psych ward. They told me I couldn't get any visitors. And I was like, please let my mom come up. It was so embarrassing. It's like being in a jail. You have a metal bed, no pillowcase, nothing. They take everything off of you because you're a threat to yourself. And I was able to tell her that he had been physically abusing me, emotionally, verbally, cheating on me. I'd had to have surgeries behind her back. I'd been in all the different ERs, just rotating in the DMV area. He would always tell the doctors I fell or something happened. He would always be beside me. He would never let me speak on my own. He recorded our conversations. That's why I couldn't tell anybody also, because even when I talked to my mother, there was a tape recording. So I could never really even open up. The only person I could trust was God. And so after I went through the psychiatric process, I filed for separation and went through the therapy. I did the work. God restored my mind. I repented. And I said, Lord, if you let me through this, I swear I'm not going to ever harm myself again. And I just want to be free, Lord. And he said, Unia, you have to tell your story. And I'm like, no, I bargained with God. God, I can't tell anybody I tried to kill myself. I can't tell anybody I was abused. I can't tell anybody that. And he said, Unia, you have to tell your story for my glory. And the ministry he birthed was Nobody But God Ministries. And the book he birthed was Nobody But God, A Journey of Faith from Tears to Triumph. And that was 2007. And I haven't stopped since. I want anyone who's watching to know, because I get judged a lot, especially by church people, not Christians, but church people. And I get harassed and bullied by some of his fraternity brothers. A couple of them called me last month when I just finished a live show trying to still harass me. And I got off the phone because I'm not going to let anybody muffle my voice again. And I'm not going to let anyone let me know what my testimony is and what I can and cannot share. I've never shared his name. I've never shared the church names. I've always been above board. And my point has always been, if I'm lying, why haven't I been sued? He threatened that he was going to write a book about me. I've been doing this for over 10 years. He didn't write the book. And I told him, I wish you would sue me. I'd call TMZ myself to meet us at court, because the real story is a story that would just blow the hairs off your head. There are so many people in church who are wounded, who are in the pews. And unfortunately, we do not hear real topics from the pulpit often. And I want the churches and people who are listening, parents especially, and young people who are watching. I thank God that you have the youth that are doing their Youth for Live on the 5th Saturdays. Thank you, women, for doing that, because youth need platforms. God told me to especially talk to the youth and parents and people in the church. One of the things that my husband would do is he would use scripture to keep me under control. Ephesians 5:22-24 would say, wives, be submissive to your husband. But what he didn't read was the 21st verse, which is before that. And that says, submit yourselves one to another. If I'd had the strength and veracity that I have now as a 53-year-old Lunia that I had at 29, I would have been able to know that God had made me fearfully and wonderfully, and that he had equipped me with everything I had to be this phenomenal woman and this virtuous woman, and that I deserved more. There was nothing wrong. Love does not hurt. I didn't deserve this. He said the reason why he married me was not because of love, was it because he needed a first lady and because he needed a nurse. So he never loved me. And he showed that in his actions. He did not want to be married. He was forced to be married because the church didn't want a single pastor or a single acting pastor. So also I want people in leadership to know that when you're picking leaders and when people are voting for leaders, deacons, all of that, really look at their personal lives. Don't go just by what you're seeing. Ask God to show you and discern to you what's really happening, because we have a lot of people in powerful positions, not just in churches, but in organizations and jobs that are sexually harassing, that are putting people in just various situations. That's why the Me Too movement is so big. And people are just, they're exerting their power and control, which is what domestic violence is about. And it's unfortunate because people are dying. You can't watch a newscast not 1 week and it go by and you not hear about someone missing, someone being hurt, someone shot, killed, and it's just too much. And it's happening to brown and black women and men way too much. I don't want anyone else to die without seeking help. If you need immediate help, call 911. If not, I have this number for you. It's the National Domestic Violence Hotline. The number is 1-800-799-SAFE, SAFE, which is 7233. I'll give it to you again, 1-800-799-SAFE, SAFE. You can call them no matter where you are in the world, wherever you're watching this or where you watch it on replay. It's local, confidential, and free. They'll allow you to talk to trained people who will come and will help you develop a safety plan. They'll give you codes. They'll give you confidential information to get you to safety houses. You and your children can be safe, and you can escape from your abuser. Netflix now has a show called Made, which is a very prolific show. If anyone has a chance to watch it, and it walks through the process of going through the shelter, the court process, and all the horrible things you have to go through. Well, when you call the domestic violence hotline, they have people to walk you through the process. You are not alone, baby girl, and you do not deserve this. I want you to look at my face and see the pain that I've gone through and know that you deserve better and that I love you and that we're here for you. Also, I want people to know, parents especially, you need to know where your young people are going and where they are. I know young people are not going to like this and millennials are not going to like it, but you can't just have your daughter or say that she's going out with her friends and you not know who the friends are. You need to know and ask questions, meet their parents, meet the gentleman, meet the young lady if it's a same-sex relationship. Be a parent. Don't just try to be a friend. Too many parents are trying to be buddies and not parents. Be a parent. You need to know where they're going, who they're going to be with, and who they're around. Now with cannabis so free, people are getting drugged. children that get kidnapped from the streets and missing, a lot of times it's because they met someone online through social media and they said, don't tell your mom, don't tell your dad, meet me after school here, skip school and meet me here. And you never hear from them again or see them again. And they don't get the type of coverage that Gabby Petito got. We don't get that type of coverage. So you miss your child and they never come back. They can be sold into human trafficking and all of that. So if you rather be nosy and intrusive on the front end so you can keep your child safe than be a buddy and lose them on the back end. Another thing for adults, when you're doing online dating, do reverse searches. Most people meet people online now. Do reverse searches. Look at their social media. Ask where they work. Ask where they go to church if they go to church. Look and kind of like be a detective. Google them, Bing them, whatever you have to do. Get their name and their number. I even say get their tag number. And when you're going out, while you're in the car, just make sure that you text someone and say, I'm out with X. This is his tag number. This is where he says he works. This is what he looks like. Because that might be the thing that saves your life. Because you don't know if you're going out with a serial killer or a really nice guy. So that's something else that I want people to be aware of. How to use technology and how to be smarter. We need to be ahead of the devil. We need to be cunning and wise. And we need to know what the left and the right hand are doing. I have learned in my life that you cannot ever be too careful. When my ex-husband was alive, I had to do restraining orders, always look over my back because he still was threatening me and telling me to stop doing what I'm doing, which is advocating and speaking up. And my life was still in danger. We were divorced. I was still afraid of him. I was still fearful of his friends and his family members, and they all live in this area. And but God had to give me strength, and God had to let me know that he was fortifying me for this, and that he called me to this, and that he would protect me and cover me. And so I'm grateful for this opportunity. I hope that some of you will share this and that you will ask questions. I am available through my website at www.uniapettis.com. That's UNNIAPETTUS.com. And you can reach me by email at drunia@uniapettis.com. And all social media, I'm Dr. Junia Perez. So it's very simple. If you just type in UNNIA, you'll find me. And I can help you. I don't want you to think you're alone.
Thank you, Dr. Perez.
Wow.
Oh my
Wow.
Thank you so much.
Wow.
I'm taking so many notes that I'm just like, okay, this is just sounding so real, and it just hits so many areas of my life and other people's lives. And we know, being in the ministry, that the biggest cover up is that they are a pastor or they work in the ministry. And it's very painful. And I'm so happy that you are sharing your story, because there are other women like myself that's been in the ministry, and we know abusers, and we know that they have peers that say they didn't do that. They would never do that. That's just you. You just high class and want more, and you just think higher of yourself. Let me tell you something. I appreciate your story, and I know there's other women out there that appreciate that you're speaking up despite this person 10 years later, saying that wasn't me and I'm going to sue you. So sue me. You know what I'm saying? Good luck. Right?
Exactly.
Good luck, because God is my defender, and he knows that I'm telling the truth, that you're telling the truth. And we thank you for that. That's what the enemy don't want. He does not want the truth. He does not want to be ashamed. He doesn't want to be embarrassed of something he did in his psycho mind. Okay, I'll say it for you. But you have to say it, because some woman out there is getting the same treatment. She's been dating that guy for 3 years, and he is treating her like queen. And we as women are like, girl, he the bomb, girl. He gonna treat you good when y'all get married, right? Right. We don't know what's going on in his head. And you said something very important, which means that we need to really take out some time to look at them and see what are their motives. You would have had no idea in your 20s that this guy was using you as a trophy wife to fulfill his ministry duties. Ladies, listen to her story. Like, this is so serious. Like, who knew that you were just a side chick in a marriage, right? I just
he picked me. He was wise enough and cunning enough to pick me. I I was like his target. And so he picked me, I fit the bill, and then I became his cover throughout the marriage. And I really, again, can't say anything negative about him other than he was an abusive husband. He was a great pastor. Let me be clear. I would never say anything negative about the pastorate. He did all of that well. And that's what makes it hard for people who only know that side of him to understand and be like, well, why was he, but think about it. You can have a coworker who can be a wonderful coworker. You only know them as this wonderful coworker or or a best friend or whatever. And they don't show you the crazy side. They don't show you the other things. When there's school shootings and stuff, there's never a teacher that said, oh, I knew Jimmy was going to bring a gun and shoot everybody. No one knows what people really are thinking and their true motives. And so I had done my due diligence by listening to what my mother had said. I'd never seen violence. He had never cursed. He had never screamed at me. He never mistreated me. And so I just thought I had the best husband ever. In fact, people were very jealous. My girlfriends were like, oh my God, does he have a brother? And so you should know, even while going through the marriage, I was covering up, putting on all this makeup and wearing sunglasses in the winter. Do you think a church member asked me what was going on? Not one. Do you think they wanted to know what was going on? No, because it didn't matter. I want people to understand that I was just expendable. I'm just the wife. You can get rid of me and still hold on to your church, your title and all that. I want people to be real. And it was Black women. I know they saw my scars. My complexion, it would show up. And no mother pulled me aside and said, baby, what's happening? No man pulled me aside and said, what's happening, my sister? Because they did not care what was happening to me as long as they got what they wanted and that their church was, burgeoning, the pews were filled, the money's coming in, and everything's fine.
And that's all that seems.
Let me just be real about that.
Yeah, that's
real talk.
Real talk. Real talk.
Talk.
Linda, do you have any questions? We are heading out of our time, but I want to make sure that Linda or Peggy has anything they want to share before we end our show for today.
Well, I just want to say, I know you are the strongest woman that I know. Mm-hmm. And I know you are a praying woman, and we've always prayed for you. And I just want to ask you, what is it, the one thing, did you ever see a sign? I know you said he was like the perfect guy almost, but in your hindsight, was there a sign that you really missed? Because a lot of times we miss the sign.
The one sign was isolating me. I didn't realize he would always want to know where I'm going, who I'm going with. And although I had friends, he reduced it to us like it was just he and I and his family. Every time I wanted to do something with other people, he just kept isolating me more and more. I thought that was love. I realized later isolation was a tactic so it would get me away from other people because then I was more likely to tell them the truth. So really the only person I could really deal with was my mother. And remember, I told you he taped all of our conversations at home. So I couldn't even tell her.
Yes.
Control. Yeah. Peggy?
Yeah, let me close out to say this conversation must continue next week, next month, tomorrow. Number one, people need to see what you look like when you were in the hospital.
And what you
look amazing, my sister.
Thank you.
You look amazing.
Yes.
I'm so blessed that you're doing well. But we got to continue this because
I'm still dealing with health challenges. People, you guys don't know what's going on behind closed doors because I just share what God tells me to share. But don't believe a person can go through 3 cancers in the last 2 years and not have side effects and pain every day. But I do this because God has allowed me to wake up for a reason. And I just want to encourage people to not just complain through it, but press through it and give God praise in the midst of it. Let somebody see your light because you might be the only Bible that they ever read. And so when you read Unia's Bible, I want you to see strength and courage and know that I spoke about Jesus and gave him glory for everything.
And he's the only one who can sustain you and keep you and help you to be here for a reason at a time such as this, because you have been here with us and we appreciate you, Dr. Junia.
Thank you. I love you all so much.
And we're going to have you back because there is a part 2 to this. This is just the opening door for us to get the insight of a sister who is going and had gone through, but yet you're still here to tell it. And we want to have you back. If we're going to schedule it, because I believe this is just not it. You have some more in you that you need to say to help us and help the others, so that we can all be able to support each other through these times of what we're living now. So, Dr.
Bless God. I will welcome the opportunity.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much again. We love you.
Thank you.
Okay. Have a great one.
You too. Love you.
Bye-bye.
Love you more. Bye-bye. Oh, my goodness. Did y'all see y'all sat there and cried that day?
Yes.
Okay, so cry like I'm always coming up with all events in my head. Every time I hear something, I just want to take it off the TV and put it out there in the public to say there are more women like her. And I just want to say, here, speak and tell them, because they're waiting for you, because it's going to free them. And specifically in the church, I mean, all out, but at the same time, there is some woman that needs her. So thank you for inviting her, Wyoming, on this domestic balance segment. It is needed. And I don't believe that any show that we do is by mistake. It is just like, And
I want to have this sister that was on the real show. I want to find her. She was shot 10 times.
Oh my goodness.
By her police husband. See, I had a police in my play. Come on, God.
Yeah.
Y'all remember if y'all
remember.
Yeah. I don't know why we're going to bring that to the look. This is my gift to you. We're bringing that play to fruition. Trust me.
Yeah. It's coming back. Like, come on, 2022.
Yes. Vision. He put forth the thing to say, Wyoming, it's just not happening in people's houses. It's happening on the jobs. It's happening in the workforce.
Yes.
It's happening to professionals. It's happening to the Christians. It's happening to the people who are lawyers. I had a lawyer in my play. I had a judge in my play. All of these things that are happening now are in my production. Say, God, you gave me that.
Yeah, that's what he does. So that's your ministry, and that's what you have to carry. And so when you say, "Oh, Charlene, you're going to be a campaign person," no, this is what we are campaigning. This is our ministry. This is what you're evangelizing. Yeah, I'm not a preacher. Yes, you are. You're bringing the gospel of domestic balance. You are sharing that someone needs to hear this, and they look different internationally, black, white, Italian, Jew, Chinese, rich, poor, whatever. And that is just your mission. And you keep putting it out there. And it doesn't matter if 2 people show up or 100 people show up. This is your call. Campaign for it.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, we got you, honey. We got you.
Oh God,
it's coming. It's coming.
And I have to wait on in his time, and he's doing it, and that's why he put me in a circle with you all, so that I can feel secure with having sisters that say, "Go, girl, go on,
go, go, go."
Yeah. So this has been great. So the time has been awesome. It's always never enough time. But what time is it?
It's time for you to walk in your purpose and prosperity.
See you all next week. Health and wellness, Dr. Lane Rowland next week.
Family, come on aboard.